In this video, I'm going to work through three examples using the dimensional analysis process from the first video. And here, just at the top, we have highlighted our process. So this is what we're looking for. So this is what we want. This piece is what is given. And then this is our conversion factor. So that's the setup that we're going to use here. I have some equivalent statements listed here. These you should have memorized. These are statements I do expect you to know. These, if you needed to use these, I would give these to you on a test or quiz. So you don't have to have these memorized. So let's start with that first one. So I want to go 1.632 miles and I want to convert that to feet. So we're looking for some quantity of feet, some amount of feet. That's the thing we're trying to find. I'm starting with this 1.632 miles, and then I need a conversion factor. So even if you don't know what to do beyond that, you can always set up this first part because that setup is always the same. So I know I need to go from miles. We want to go to feet. So that's the conversion that we want to find. We'll look up in our equivalent statements, and there is one here that has feet and miles. So that's nice because I can do this in one step. Remember that whatever unit is here, the thing we're trying to get rid of, that needs to go on the bottom. So that means the 1 mile will go here, and then the other half of that equivalent statement is going to go up top. So I'm going to have the 5280 feet up top. I can cancel those miles because I have them on top and bottom. I'm left with feet. This was the thing we were looking for, so we're good to go. Set that equal to whatever we end up with when we multiply it. So I'm going to take 1.632 times my 5280. When I plug that into the calculator, we're going to get 6969.6. We need to check significant figures. This has 4, so I'm going to keep those spots and look at that 6. So this is going to go 26970. Remember that this is only 3 significant figures because that 0 doesn't count. So to make it 4, we actually have to put that decimal in there. And then don't forget your units. So we want to make sure include those units there. Next one, we're looking for centimeters. So looking for centimeters, we're starting with 1.548 miles. Set up a conversion factor. This time, I want to go from miles to centimeters. So if we look up here in our equivalent statements, you'll see that we don't have anything that directly takes me from miles to centimeters. So in this case, we may have to do a couple of steps. So we can do this in more than one step. First thing I would need to do though is to get rid of those miles. So up here in the equivalent statement, the only one that has miles is that one we used for the previous example. So let's go ahead and start with that one, and then we'll see where we can go from there. So just like we did above, I know I need the miles on the bottom because I have miles here. This is the thing I need to get rid of. So I can get rid of those. Now though, when I check, I have feet left, but I was looking for centimeters. So this means we're not done yet because this unit here is not the unit that we want over here. And anytime we need an extra step, that means we just need another ratio. So I'm going to put another step in there. So now I have feet and I want to get to centimeters. So again, if we look at our equivalent statements, I don't have anything up there that is straight feet to centimeters. I do have this one that's feet to inches, and then I have one that's inches and centimeters. So I could do that in a two-step process. So that's where we're going to go this time. If you had given to you a direct one between feet and centimeters, then of course you can go ahead and use that. But I wanted to show this multi-step example. So we'll take this in 2 more steps. So just like we did before, if I have feet here, that means it needs to go on the bottom. So we're going to put the feet here and the inches above. So the 12 goes with the inches, the 1 goes with the feet. I now can get rid of those feet. Now I have inches, still not the centimeters I want, but here we have this conversion. I can go from inches to centimeters. The inches go on bottom. Again, they go on bottom because I have them here. So whatever's here goes on the bottom, which means centimeters come on this side. Then we can get rid of those. And now I have centimeters. And that's what we were looking for. So that means we're done. Once we have the unit that we were looking for at the end, that means that we're in good shape and we can go ahead and stop. For this one, I now need to multiply all of these numbers across the top. So I'm going to do the 1.548 times the 5280 times 12 times 2.54. Plug all of that into your calculator, and we're going to get 249,126.45. So we get this big number. We need to check sig figs. So this is 4 significant figures. So I'm going to keep these spots. Look at that 2, so I don't need to round. So remember, we don't want to leave it here. We're not changing it from a 249,000 number to a 2,000 number. We're just changing the precision. So for those extra spaces, we just need to put in zeros there. So we can leave it like this, or we can put this in scientific notation, times 10 to the 5th. Either way, make sure you put your units, so you can use any of those methods. So you can just leave it in expanded form, or you can put it in scientific notation. Okay, so if we have multiple steps, we're doing the same process. We're just adding an extra conversion factor, throwing in the equivalent statement that will get rid of the units that we don't want. All right, let's do one more here. So we're going to do how many millimeters. So we're looking for millimeters equals 25 kilometers. And then we need a conversion factor. Okay, so if we come up here, we have kilometers to meters and we have millimeters to meters, but we don't have one directly between those two. So we're going to go from kilometers to meters and then meters to millimeters. So we're going to do this in 2 steps. So I have the kilometers here. It means we're going to put the kilometers on the bottom. That's 1,000 meters. So I can get rid of those kilometers. Now I have meters. Again, we're not done yet because I need millimeters. So I know that I need that extra step. So we're going to have 1 meter is 1,000 millimeters. So that's from that list of equivalent statements above. Meters will cancel. Now we've got those millimeters, so we're in good shape. We can go ahead and put our equal sign. Now we're just multiplying again these guys all together. So we end up with 25 million millimeters. We can put that in scientific notation if we want, times 10 to the 7th millimeters. And again, don't forget to check sig figs. In this case, we have 2 here, 2 that we started with, and here we only have 2 as well because we don't have a decimal there. So this one is going to be good. You can use either notation you prefer, expanded or decimal form.